So there's a very interesting conversation on Reddit that's got a lot of attention. A woman who says she runs a recruiting business is asking for advice. She shared that her high school bully recently moved back to town and is looking for work. Because of her job and her connections, she says she has the power to prevent him from getting any of the good jobs in her town. This woman says she's considering letting other business leaders know about his past and will blackball him from getting work. But some online are saying that she's in the wrong for holding the grudge and that he could have completely changed since high school. So, of course, we want to know what you think. Erica, do you think that this is a good move?
For her to blackball him? Nah, sis. Let that karma be his. But the moment that you start messing in other people's lives, especially when it comes to money, the ability for them to take care of themselves and their family, that karma is on you. So if it'd be one thing if he was applying for a position at the place that she was working at, like would that make her uncomfortable? That we might be able to talk about. But the idea of him not getting a job, period, that's going to come back on you tenfold. Don't do it.
I don't know about that.
Ooh.
I don't know about that. Why do we always have to take the high road? Well, I'm tired of always, there's no, like, you don't ever get any benefit from, like, I'm going to take the high road and just let, whatever he did, it did something that she saw his name and it instantly brought her back. Not like, oh, I think I went to high school with him. He did something.
Triggering.
And we're talking about what he did versus what he could have done in terms of his change. I don't know. Maybe did he change? Maybe he could have. But we know for a fact what he did. And I feel like there needs to be some consequences for your actions. And sometimes your consequences is when you come back looking for a job. I run this here town and you're not working here.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
Face.
But maybe he
I'm the sheriff.
Maybe he already paid those consequences back in a different way. Maybe he fell in hard times and he's a different person now. I'm very much an eye for an eye kind of guy, and I've learned along the way that isn't a philosophy to think, right? You're going to carry someone else's burden by thinking that way. If you're more like Erica, you kind of let that go and let that be their problem. I remember 30 years ago, someone stole my ball, and I told him the name off camera because I still remember.
What kind of a ball?
My basketball. And he like pushed my head down. He took my ball. And I saw him a couple years later because I remembered, and I was a lot bigger and a lot more.
Yeah.
And he left the bar I was at because it was going to get physical. Wow. So I was going to go eye for an eye, but that wasn't the right way to go.
It wasn't the right. Vengeance is not yours.
No.
Let that be taken care of the universe.
I wonder what would happen if they sat down and talked, because I'm curious. You always say on this show, Jeff, hurt people hurt people. So why was he the bully back then? I'm not making excuses for his behavior. Believe me, I can tell that it's caused a lot of damage psychologically to this woman, and who else knows who his victims were. But I'm curious.
I don't have that kind of time to do a 23andMe on his trauma. I don't want to go back. Oh, his dad was mean because his granddad. I don't care. You bullied me or somebody I love.
But what if he comes to you and says, "I'm so sorry. This is what was happening to me"?
She didn't mention that in the article. Now, if they apologize, that's a totally different thing, because I think I definitely have things that I'd like to atone for. I think we all have if you look back at your life in its totality. But I do think there's a point where him just coming back and you just assume he's done the work.
I wish we could get them on the show. And have like
maybe we can
have our own little digging red table talk right here.
Girl, you better leave this alone. Just get that man his job.